Namaste. Welcome all to Candid Convos, a thought leadership initiative of Lead Fact Solutions. In the fifth episode today, we have pleasure in having Gurbinder Punn with us. He is based at Dubai, UAE. Gurbinder is a highly accomplished leadership and executive coach. He is a credentialed professional certified coach PCC by International Coaching Federation. He has over 35 years of global corporate experience as a HR leader, a self-help author, coach, facilitator, and HR advisor. He is recognized among the top 10 executive coaches in the Middle East. He specializes in stakeholder centered coaching and systemic team coaching, leveraging the expertise gained from none other than Marshall Goldsmith. He is a trusted partner to organization. Gurbinder empowers leaders to foster high performance culture that drive creativity and innovation. He is an avid thought leader. He shares his insights on coaching, leadership, and sustainability through blogs and articles on his website www.gurbinderpun.com. He also leads a global daily journaling initiative, inspiring journaling enthusiasts worldwide. He is passionate about sustainability. He advocates for eco-friendly practices and inspires future generations to embrace these principles. His best-selling book, The Coaching Advantage, is a go-to resource for enhancing leadership and coaching skills. In this podcast, we are going to discuss with him about this book and various other aspects of his expertise and work. Thank you, Gurbinder, for agreeing to join us today in the podcast and to share your thoughts. We will now directly get into your book. Very interesting read. So you articulated about coaching to begin with. You started with what is coaching in your book. That gave a very good, nice introduction to people, like for person who is a certified coach like me, as well as to others who are new to coaching. It is a good introduction. See, generally, there are a lot of other streams which will get discussed along with coaching. Like, for example, mentoring, counseling, training, coaching. These things, there is a tendency to get mixed up. So, can you please tell the difference between coaching, mentoring, counseling, and training?
Sure. Yeah. And thank you, Ramesh, for having me over. I'm very excited to be on your show. This is always a very interesting question that comes up because how does coaching differ from other roles? And
Yes.
as I said in my book, also, coaching is all about unlocking a person's potential to maximize their own performance.
Mm,
Now, if you would look at the metaphor of a corn, the seed for an oak tree. Now, if you would see everything that needs to be a oak tree
mm,
is already inside that seed.
right.
So the role of the coach is just like to provide the nourishment and the light that is necessary for the growth. We don't have
Mm,
to bring anything extra. So in practice, if you look at it, coaching is kind of helping individuals to discover their own solutions.
right.
And it's not really about providing answers. It's more about fostering the growth which is already within them. So this is
Sure.
coaching.
Mm,
Now, the second part of your question is how is it different from other related terms? So the first very often related term used is mentoring.
yes.
Now, mentoring is something that involves somebody who's more experienced in that same domain of knowledge. For example, if I have to mentor an engineer, I should be an engineer.
Mm,
If I have to mentor a doctor, I should be a doctor.
right.
Because in mentoring, we are sharing the wisdom and the experience that I have learned or gained over my lifetime being in that profession. So
Mm.
mentoring is requiring a subject knowledge, and it's more about wisdom and insights.
Right, right.
Okay.
It's more of
Another
a been there, done there.
been there, done there. So I can
Right.
help you, I can share my learnings, and I can tell you from my experience.
Sure.
Okay. Now let's look at another very related term, which is again confusing sometimes, is training.
Yes.
Is training same as coaching? No. Training is training. It is quite
Mm.
distinct because it depends on imparting certain specific skills or knowledge through a structured program.
Mm.
Before you begin the training session, the trainer is very clear about the outcome, the objectives that he or she wants to have by the end of the session.
Mm.
It's like you want to learn a new language, you want to learn a new software, or you want to run in a race. So today's training session is at ABCD objectives. So training is downloading the knowledge, downloading the information, downloading the skills through a very pre-planned structured program.
Right.
Okay, now again, as I come back to coaching, coaching is helping the individual discover their own solutions.
Right.
Training is giving them my solutions and telling them this is the knowledge. If you will take, you will be able to do your work better.
Right.
Now, two more connected terms I'll just quickly share with you. One is consulting.
Mm.
Consulting is a very management kind of a term. It's an approach where an expert kind of analyzes the problems and then provides solutions.
Right.
So, unlike a coach, the consultant will tell you what to do to solve a problem rather than helping you to figure it out on your own.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so we can have a strategy consultant, we can have a process consultant, we can have a CX consultant, we can have branding consultants. There can be all kind of consultants who are experts.
Right.
And then the last term, which also gets sometimes questioned, is therapy. Is coaching same as therapy?
Yes.
Now, therapy is a licensed profession, and it is focused on healing,
Mm.
and it addresses many of the mental health problems. These
Right.
are people who are experienced in certain domains of therapy. We can say, cognitive behavior therapy. There are uh, trauma therapy, gestalt therapy. So many therapy techniques in the world, but it
Mm.
requires a certain stream of education and licensed professionals who will do therapy. So, in a nutshell, while all of these, whether it is training, consulting, mentoring, therapy, they all are working towards the growth and development of an individual, but they
Mm.
operate very differently from
Okay.
each. So this is, primarily the difference that I usually tell people about.
Sure. That's a good perspective. So all are helping relationship. We are in a way helping someone. Whereas coaching is maybe I would say like one step ahead, where you show the mirror and enable the person to unlock the potential, so
Yes,
that he or she becomes more of a self-reliant over a period of time. Yeah. That's
yes,
great. Great way of looking at it. Thanks, Gurbinder. See, and in the chapter where you talk about challenges of leadership, you mentioned about 10 behavioral competencies of a leader. And all are very interesting. One thing which I wanted to discuss with you, particularly, is where you spoke about resilient determination. So this is very interesting, Gurbinder. Can you please explain this to us?
yeah. Thank you again. Yes, it is also very close to my heart because uh, it's a slightly different term from what we usually use. So
Yes.
sometimes some terms which also can explain the same word are like perseverance, tenacity, persistence. Some people use endurance,
Hmm.
but I personally prefer the term resilient determination. Now, because there are two powerful qualities in this.
Right.
resilience, and determination.
Mm.
So if you look at them together, holistically, they give you a picture of a very effective leadership and personal growth.
Mm.
How? Let me give you a little examples around this. So resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks.
Mm.
Adaptability, I see that certificate on your background. The adaptability. Now,
Yes.
adaptability, the quickness to change, the endurance, and also the capacity to recover very fast.
Mm.
The second word in that term is determination.
Mm.
Determination is a commitment to goals.
Right.
It's the drive to see through no matter what the obstacles are.
Mm.
So when we combine resilience to determination, it just not only talks about the ability to keep going, but also the flexibility and the strength to navigate difficult situations.
Mm.
Let's just visualize it for a minute. Let's say there is a mountain climber,
Right.
and he is on a mountain track, and all of a sudden the weather changes. Now it's a difficult trail. The weather has changed. The resilient determination is what will keep the climber moving forward.
Mm. Mm.
It's not just about how strong physically he or she is, but also the mental toughness. Adapting to the situation, reassessing if I need to take a route differently. And in business, this is a very strong leadership quality. I mean, when you look at Thomas Edison,
Mm.
a very simple example. When asked about thousands of failed attempts, he always used to say, "No, I haven't failed, but I have found 1,000 ways that don't work."
Exactly. Yes.
And that's to me resilient determination. J.K. Rowling, for example,
Mm.
how many rejections Harry Potter had.
Correct.
Uh, Serena Williams, Michael Jordan. I mean, you look at all of them. They are known for resilient determination. So I really like this word. It speaks to me a lot, and so I put it in the book as a quality for leaders.
Yeah, yeah. No, and when you add determinant to resilience, it becomes very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. See, when you wrote about personal growth in your book, you mentioned about the importance of values, and you had very nicely quoted Lena Nair and Jay Lee of Samson. See, how important is values in one individual's personal growth, Gurbinder? See, we all know abstract term, yes, we all need values, but yeah, how to articulate it?
Values are not important. Values are fundamental
Hmm.
because values are the inner compass that it's like the guiding light.
Okay.
And when we talk about personal growth, it's not just about learning a new skill or setting a new goals. No, it's
Hmm.
all about understanding who we truly are
Okay.
and ensuring that our actions align with that core sense of who I am.
Hmm.
So to me, values are the foundation of the building called as Gurbinder, let's say.
Okay.
If the foundation is strong and it is well led, everything that you will build upon it, it will be stable.
Got it. Hmm.
Conversely, if the foundation is shaky, the entire structure risks instability.
Hmm.
Why values are important? I can give you as a manager or as a leader 100 scenarios in a business that if this happens, you do this. If
Hmm.
this happens, you do this.
Hmm.
But what about the scenario which has never happened before?
Hmm.
And now the scenario comes up to the employee to handle it.
Right.
Now, this is where the value comes in.
Hmm.
If the value is in place, if the value says responsibility, it's easy for me. I just need to operate from responsibility.
Hmm.
It's not a label. It's something that will shape my action, my decisions, and my commitment to whatever work I do. So having clarity about your values, it really empowers you to make the right choices, especially during tough times.
Exactly. Hmm.
If you look at the prominent Indian leaders who are widely recognized, I mean, who does not know Kailash Satyarthi, the Nobel Peace
Hmm.
Prize, I mean, for his unwavering commitment to child welfare. Uh,
Correct.
Ratan Tata, Narayan Murthy, I mean, the list is long. Azim Premji, so much of philanthropy, social responsibility. So, values are not just something nice or a label or something to know about. They are the foundation on which leadership is made. And so it's important to know what is my value, and when the tough times come, how do I operate from my value?
Hmm. Got it, Gurbinder. That's an interesting perspective what you said. Like, when you don't know how to move ahead, look to values. It will guide you. Yeah, go as per that, value, what the value dictates. So then,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Principle centered leadership. What is principle
exactly.
centered?
Yeah, okay.
Because you never can have answers to every possible situation in the world.
Mm, 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 mm. Yeah, yeah, right. Right. So you also wrote about the art of asking powerful questions. So that was very interesting, Gurbinder. See, can you as a coach, can you give some examples in your journey? Or how could you bring in different perspectives to your coaches by asking some powerful questions, especially at senior level?
Yeah. That is something that completely makes coaching different from any other way of people development. Is
Hmm.
that instead of telling them what to do, we ask them questions.
Hmm.
And they are very powerful tools. And for me, in my journey, many such situations have come where in a leadership role, uh, we ask a certain question, and you see all of a sudden a transformation happening. So why it
Hmm.
happens is because uh, it helps the client to explore their own ideas, their own beliefs,
Hmm.
their own hidden insights. By asking that question, I'm only helping them to think. It kind of prompts a thought sometimes. It questions a very long held belief, like people say, no, I cannot do it, no, I cannot do it.
Hmm.
And then you can ask a question there. Really?
Hmm.
Can you not do it? What if
Hmm.
you could do it?
Hmm.
And sometimes the questions are so interesting, even asking. For me, I'm a great fan of asking small questions,
Okay.
2 word questions, 3 word questions.
Hmm.
One of my favorite questions is, what else?
Okay. Hmm. Hmm.
And then I wait. Another question I ask is, what truly matters?
Hmm.
With one client, I was having a conversation, and she was kind of little stuck in a place where she was not really moving forward. She was very hesitant about extending her business. And so I asked her one simple question. I said, how do you really feel about being stuck here?
Hmm.
And she gave me some answers, and then I just changed the question. I said, instead, how would you like to feel?
Hmm.
This was like, it prompted her to go deeper into herself and really be in a place. No, I don't want to feel like this, I want to feel like this. So all of a sudden,
Hmm.
transformation happened. And she started to see how what success means for her, how will she do it. And then we went on to develop the actions for her, what she can do. So sometimes this question helps us from breaking free from the limiting belief.
Hmm.
Sometimes it helps us to just overcome a self-doubt. Like one of my clients, was a mid-career kind of a person, very recently promoted to a leadership position, but he
Right.
was struggling with a lot of self-doubt,
Okay.
and he was fearing that he will fail in the role.
Okay.
And I just asked a question: what would you do if failure was not the option?
Hmm.
I mean, it kind of caught him off guard. It forced him to confront his fear that he cannot fail now,
Right. Right.
and that he doesn't need to be perfect. He doesn't. So all that came out, and he started to put together his innovation in place and made some really good movements in his career. So yeah, questions are very powerful, and uh, they can transform somebody by just two or three words sometimes.
That's very interesting, Gurbinder. So that's maybe a powerful tool to make someone self-reliant, right?
Yes.
Yeah, opening up and thinking in a different perspective, so that the person, whenever he or she gets into similar situation, maybe help them to have a different perspective altogether, even in the absence of a coach. Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, there are very interesting books on
Hmm.
for leaders on asking questions.
Okay. Okay.
It's not just about coaches.
Mm.
Any leader who is is working with his teams to grow the team rather than telling them what to do can always go and say, "How would you handle this? What do you,
Right.
what do you think?"
Mm. Mm.
All of a sudden you are empowering the team to be in a place where they can also come up with the solutions rather than all the time the boss has to find the solution.
Got it. Mm.
It's a beautiful leadership tool.
Correct. No, in fact, Edgar Sheen and Peter Shine, they have written a book, Humble Inquiry. It's about asking questions rather than telling. They say, like, no, ask questions. You get a lot of answers and also empowers others. Yeah, that's great. See, in the chapter where you talk about starting your coaching journey, so you have prescribed like see coaching as a tool for empowerment. It is not a sign of weakness. If you seek a coach, it doesn't mean like you are weak. Yeah, that's a very good perspective, and that's how all the coaches we have been creating awareness, trying to create awareness for the past couple of decades. So, how do you think that the maturity has come in, especially at mid and senior level? Is it in the right pace? The maturity level, people started seeing it as a okay, fine. It's also a way of getting help.
Yeah, that's a very interesting question because where is the maturity coming? What's the transformation happening in the coaching profession? So
Mm.
I was going through recently a global study from the International Coaching Federation, and what it has demonstrated in their study is that from a shift of coaching as a fixing a performance,
Mm.
it has now shifted towards a leadership development tool.
Right.
So people now take pride in saying, "Oh, my company gave me a coach to work with."
Wow. Mm. Mm.
That generation shift is massive now, and
Good.
and if you would be surprised to know that the number of coaching practitioners have increased by 54% in the last 3 years.
Wow. Mm. That's good.
There are
Yeah.
almost 100,000 ICF coaches alone in the world right now.
Mm. Mm.
And you add other EMCC or other credentialing to it, we are talking about a very big industry. Now, this industry definitely is in place because there is a need for coaching in the world now.
Yep.
So the progress is tangible. But having said that, awareness is still needed,
Right.
but particularly at the individual level.
Mm. Mm.
So, more or less, organizations are adopting coaching. Uh, Tata has done it, ICI has done it. Many organizations have adopted coaching culture at a corporate level.
Aditya Birla is institutionalized.
Organization
Yeah.
should like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is a cultural norm in some organizations
Yep.
because they are kind of understanding how it works.
Yep.
Whereas individuals still who are
Mm.
not in a corporate which provides them with a coaching support, their knowledge or their understanding or their vulnerability to be open to get coached still needs to be worked upon.
Mm.
So that
Okay.
shift is happening. When
Yep.
I am personally, I coach many senior leaders and emerging leaders who are paying for their own coaching from their own pocket. The organization is not paying.
Okay.
That shift is coming, but not to a very large extent.
Mm. Yeah, hopefully, yes, we will see that happening very soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, you are also a Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder centered coaching certified. So, what is that SCC means and how it complements your role as a coach?
Hmm. Yeah, very interesting coaching technology, coaching methodology rather than. See, Marshall Goldsmith is technology is called as stakeholder centered coaching, which means it is developed by Marshall Goldsmith. Is
Mm.
one of the most respected executive coaches in the world.
Yes.
So, unlike traditional coaching, stakeholder centered coaching focuses on the client with the stakeholders around them.
Okay. Okay.
So, throughout the coaching process, the coaching journey is not only between the client and the coach, it is a
Mm.
collaboration with the identified stakeholders.
Mm.
Because only those stakeholders who are with you, who meet you very frequently, who see you what you are doing, know or feel, are you moving forward in your improvements or are you not moving forward?
Mm.
So the stakeholders become collaborative in the process to give feedback to the
Right.
client, to the leader, as to what they are seeing over a period of time.
Right.
So there's a feedback technology here. Every month, the client leader meets with his stakeholders, 5 7 stakeholders. They start with a 360-degree survey. They get everybody's analysis, and then
Mm.
continuously, every month, the stakeholders come and give feedback to the leader. Very powerfully, the leader gets a very transparent feedback from around his stakeholders, and one major thing happens here is that the perception of the stakeholders changes about the leader.
Mm. Mm.
I can always say I have improved myself,
Mm.
but the improvement actually has to come when Ramesh will say Gurbinder has improved.
Yep.
So that's where stakeholder part of it becomes very very useful to give you a very authentic feedback saying have you improved, have you not improved.
Okay.
So that's the
That's
difference between a one-to-one coaching and a stakeholder collaborative coaching.
great. No, that's a no very good perspective, especially in leadership development. You are talking about the impact, not only the intent. I may be intending to change, or maybe thinking like yes, I have changed, but whether the impact is happening on the ground. Yeah, that's great. Super. See, we spoke about individual coaching, and now there is emerging topics like team coaching is also coming up. We hear a lot of people talking about team coaching. How different is individual coaching to team coaching?
Uh, See, the fundamentals remain the same. It's
Hmm.
coaching. Both are about development,
Right.
but the word itself clarifies it that the individual coaching focuses on the personal growth and goals of a single individual,
Right.
whereas the team coaching focuses on the collective effectiveness, the dysfunctions of a team, what we call as
Hmm.
the dynamics,
Right.
and the performance of the whole team. So
Hmm.
individual versus team. Now the methodology changes because in an individual coaching, I am just talking to one person. So we am a partner with that person. I am constantly in a deep reflection. I'm observing the behavior change, and my effort is to improve the skills or the emotional behaviors or whatever of a client.
Sure.
When we are working with the team, we have to look at it like a system.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's why it's called as systemic team coaching, also.
Okay.
Because within the system, many other things come up, like communication, internal communication, external communication with the stakeholders. How does the team handles conflicts?
Right.
Okay. How does the team provide psychological safety to each other to be able to say what they want to say?
Mm.
So team coaching is intense. Team coaching is, deep, and if done right, and if the team really comes up rightly, uh, it's a beautiful thing to restore trust, build communication, and align the whole thing. So uh, it's catching up. In my experience, at least 5 out of 10 leaders who I coach come back to me with the requirements to coach their teams also.
Wow. Because they have seen the benefit already.
They've seen the benefit.
They have reaped the benefit. So in that way, yeah, that's good. That's good. See, when it comes to individual coaching, there will be 2 or 3 goals which we take with the coachee and work. So in the team coaching, how it works? Do we have a common goal, or individuals will have the individual goal and work towards that?
So the difference is majorly here is that in the team coaching, we first understand the health of the team.
Okay.
So there are assessments which are done, anonymous
Mm.
assessments, where we ask the team members to undertake some assessments, which
Okay.
has questions on relationships, which has questions on communication. So we get to know where is this team actually, because on a, let's say it's a 20 people team, and
Mm.
for 20 people assessment, and I come to know that the communication score is 2.1 out of
Okay.
5.
Mm.
So definitely for the whole organization, it's a question mark, because if you are not even communicating properly and you have a vision of becoming somebody XYZ, it's not going to work for you.
Mm.
So we identify the health of the team. That's the first difference made. Secondly, why is this coaching being done? What happened right now that you are addressing this coaching? Is there a major change happening in the organization? Have you taken up a project to become from 1 to 10? Some kind of a reason or a background is there. Now,
Right.
that definitely the scope of the work. This is why the organization is investing into team coaching.
Okay.
But that is not the only thing the coach will work with. The coach will first identify the health of the organization,
Okay.
health of the team, and that has to, it's like, the root cause.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So the coach's job is to go not look at the symptoms, but go into the root,
Got it. Mm.
and then work with the whole team to bring about those changes at the foundational level, so that the organizational achievements are much more easier to achieve.
Right. And it's very heartening to note, like from what you are telling, like awareness is picking up, and people, those who reap the benefit through individual coaching, are recommending for the team. That's very good to hear, actually. That's great. See, as a part of your company, Smart Roots, you are also undertaking a lot of OD initiatives. Gurbinder, I could see a lot of information from your website. So, what are all the major challenges faced by organizations today in current environment, and how you and your team are supporting them in the OD perspective?
Hmm. Yeah, uh, challenges are plenty, and I think the best way to summarize all the challenges are that we live in a VUCA world.
Mm, mm,
It's a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world.
right.
The changes are rapid, and there is uncertainty all around. So uh, the there's a huge technological advancement happening overnight,
Mm,
and what it means is that the organization must adapt to the change very fast.
okay.
The traditional rigid structures, if you see, people who are refusing to change, or no, this is how we have been doing things for a long time, that becomes very less effective.
Mm,
So the one of the challenges that organizations are facing today is, if their culture is rigid and they are not agile, not adaptable, they are facing a market challenge, a market competitiveness.
mm,
Another area which the organizations are facing today in my most of my clients come with this is the talent side of it.
Hmm.
The talent acquisition and retention is changing from what it used to be.
Okay.
The average life of an employee in an organization is going down tremendously,
Hmm.
and there is a constant shortage, and there is a constant change of the people who are working.
Hmm.
So one major area of challenge right now is how do I attract and how do I retain people,
Right.
because the competition landscape is so open, and with technology making the communication on your fingertips, retention has become a challenge.
Hmm.
Another major area which I we have faced is the digital transformation.
Hmm.
And organizations which are not able to implement the new technologies, or are implementing them too fast and more than required, both
Hmm.
sides are facing a challenge.
Hmm.
So one organization I was working through was talking to me about how do we do that. So we did a whole change management and agile transformation system for them. We said you have to move from being a very stiff organization to adaptable organization, but you have to do it smoothly.
Right.
Don't do knee-jerk reactions so that the whole organization is confused about what happened to us.
Got it. Hmm.
So the change management is a area where we work very strongly. We work on culture transformation, which is doing what needs to be done, but at the same time keeping the core values in place.
Hmm.
And one major shift which I think is happening already in place, and it happened after COVID-19 very strongly, is the well-being of the employees.
Right.
So the organizations which had never worked around those things, but they now need to prioritize mental health, work-life balances, people's working from home, hybrid systems. All this is becoming a challenge. So our role from Smart Roots as a organization is in helping these organizations to navigate these complex challenges, which work around for us three main areas: strategy, culture, and leadership capabilities. If we build these, then they will not just survive, but they build resilience. And an engaged workforce is always required for our future success. So yeah,
Hmm.
OD is having its challenges, but we are working it out, and some organizations are losing it because of that.
Right, right, right. And how these contemporary challenges are, I would say, like emergence, like AI, Gen AI. We talk about Gen AI, and Gen Z. So how these things are adding to the complexity or to the solution to the OD initiatives.
See, one of the things is how do you use AI?
Hmm. Hmm.
And right now there is a huge confusion about how do you use AI, because eventually everybody has his own understanding about AI. It's the uh, blind man's elephant right now.
Hmm. Hmm.
So OD or any other developmental areas which you say, one is uh, how do you analyze the data? So
Right.
AI tools, when they are used to identify patterns or the trends, it helps the client to progress better.
Hmm.
Within OD, there are a lot of apps which helps the client to track, to set, and to adjust their goals accordingly. And the knowledge systems, the AI curated courses, AI supported articles, learning, they are very useful. So, but at the same time, as I always said, AI is a complementary tool to what we have been doing traditionally. It's not a
Hmm.
replacement of what we are doing.
Hmm. Hmm.
So some of the organizations which are doing it slowly, piece by piece, they are sustaining it easier, faster, more authentic relationship. They are grounded. But some of the tools which have some organizations which have said AI and that's it are going to suffer, because it's not a replacement of anything. It's just a added technology in learning, training, CRM systems, whatever you do, AI is helping you.
Mm. So it's about knowing how to use the tool correctly, when to use, up to what degree. Will
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
great.
if you overuse it, uh, your dependence on it will become so high,
Mm,
and if you don't use it, then somebody else will use it, and your competitiveness will be at a question mark. So the changes and the pace of these changes is really confusing right now, many organizations.
exactly. Correct. Gurbinder, you are also part of International Association of Facilitators. That's how we both know each other. See how, as a process, how do you find the similarity in the group process facilitation, what we call, and in the coaching, Gurbinder?
It's for and you would find that there are many coaches who are facilitators,
Mm,
and that is a very interesting combination of two competencies which is coming up,
mm.
because both are essential tools for unlocking the potential and driving development, if you ask me.
Okay.
They are same and different. So how are they same? Number one, uh, because when they are integrated together, they work very well. Like I was talking about team coaching recently.
Yep.
Now, team coaching is a huge exercise where facilitation helps.
Right. Right.
So the group facilitation comes handy in team coaching because the facilitator will wear the hat of a facilitator, and he will conduct a team facilitation session to bring out any underlying issues, any developmental areas, and it works there. And coaching gets integrated into it to work on the growth areas that they want to come on.
Mm, mm,
Now, how they can be used. So let's say there is an organization which is working on a uh, organization change project.
mm.
It's a major transformation, and usually whenever a change projects are done, there is a lot of resistance from employees.
Yes.
So how do you do it? You integrate group facilitation with coaching.
Mm, mm,
So managers and change leaders receive the coaching to handle their own anxieties, their own skill development, and their own capacity building. And the facilitation runs the town halls, the focus groups, uh, develop shared visions. You add group facilitation to coaching, and you get a very clear organization change initiative happening.
mm.
So, in summary, while facilitation and coaching are two different methodologies because they talk about a group and a individual, or a group and a team, the combination is becoming very useful, and I'm big supporter that both are complementary, and facilitation creates the environment for the group to explore ideas, and coaching can be integrated within that process to support individual growth and also team growth.
Yeah, that's and as a coach myself, I found a lot of similarities in some of the competencies. For example, we talk about empathy, empathic listening, empathic presence, how we present ourselves in front of our participants, responding, questioning, probing, challenging. All those competencies, I found lot of similarities. And one interesting thing what I liked in both is the spotlight is not on you as a coach or a facilitator. The spotlight is always on the coachee or the participants. So that common principle binds both a lot. And as you rightly said, it's complementary to each other. Yes.
Sure.
See, and as a coach and also as a facilitator, how you are promoting it as a professional in Middle East? Are you taking any specific initiatives to promote coaching and facilitation, Gurbinder, in Middle East?
That's a very interesting question because while I'm a coach for almost 10 years now, and
Mm,
but about in 2019, I was asked to join the board of ICF chapter in one of the Middle Eastern countries. Now, a very funny thing happened. I got onto the board as the vice president of education for the board, and the COVID-19 hit us.
Okay. Okay.
All of a sudden, we didn't knew what to do. I mean, I'm supposed to run education programs, but there is nobody to come to the education program. So uh, it was challenging, but the opportunity was immense for me because I was able to advance many coaching awareness and capacity building in that period.
All
So
right.
COVID-19 provided me with that time a opportunity to run many pro bono coaching clinics where
Okay.
our coaches from the country offer support and guidance to individuals and organizations who are facing these, COVID unprecedented challenges.
Mm.
So some were dealing with health concerns, there were career uncertainties, there were personal setbacks. So these coaching clinics brought accessible coaching to those in need. And
Mm.
at the same time, it demonstrated how coaching can serve as a powerful tool for for resilience, for growth, and especially
Mm.
during crisis.
Right.
So it helped a lot to build awareness about coaching. I also worked with the ICF Global, and we organized ICF Prism Awards in the
Mm.
country, which kind of promotes the organizations that integrate coaching into their leadership development. So 3 sessions were done, 3 years continuously. I was heading the ICF Prism Awards. Uh, I had the opportunity to serve as the conference chair for the Middle East Coaching Conference uh,
Okay.
in 2022, 23, and then for facilitation, I think I'm very lucky that I am perhaps the first or the second facilitator in the Middle East.
Wow. Mm.
And when I came and I spoke to many of my colleagues from coaching, L&D, they said, "This is beautiful. How can we bring it here to this region?"
Mm.
So I now have a huge vision and a calling in front of me to build and nurture a community of skilled facilitators in this region.
Right.
Uh, and I'm working with IAF to set up a chapter in Dubai uh,
Right.
soon, setting up the groundwork. Started to do some facilitators uh, training program, bringing them to the bigger conferences like the Asia Conference, India Conference. So
Mm.
my effort is to increase awareness. My effort is to build capacity and also to create a sustainable ecosystem both for coaching and facilitation in the Middle
Right.
East.
Okay.
So I'm praying to God to give me the strength and support of friends like you to create that uh, legacy that will help organizations, individuals in this local culture bring the best practices to them. That's what I'm
Sure.
doing. My humble contribution to the profession.
Definitely, Gurbinder, and thanks a lot for sharing your insights and experience on various fields. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for the opportunity. It was a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks.